This is just Amazon. On Wednesday, well, for Wednesday, July 17th, 2019, I really like how we started to break out, excuse me, started to break out today from this wedge we talked about yesterday. Really, it did actually start to break out, go bullish, immediately pulled back and just chopped around in this range, which is the range, same range we were trapped in yesterday, and just couldn't get going. It just couldn't get going bullish. And that's okay. It gave us some really good bearish entry signals, even just going off of this line. So here, let me zoom back out. This line that we just straddled all day today is this one. I haven't moved it, still in the same place. We were bouncing off of it, a couple times. We went through it yesterday, and this was maybe the first signal that it could break down some more. We came down to pretty much the same low, but we continued. So anyway, that's where that line comes from. Besides that, we've got the 2005 line and the 2013 line, and then the next line down here is at 1990, and pretty much everything came into play today. It's just, I don't know, it's just crazy when these lines just line up, and if you can take trades because of them, it's great. We had that pre-market run up, roll back down, kind of a bounce here once we opened, but it turned into a high wave candle, another high wave, another high wave. This one actually making a slightly higher high. So some bulls were buying, thinking it's going, I don't want to miss it, and then they got probably stopped out. Yeah, probably lost if they were going bullish here. But anyway, really nice high wave candle, really small body. I like that. Pretty balanced with the upper and lower wicks. And then the very next candle, it does actually break down, making lower high, lower low. But then we just kind of go into this stair step here and actually start to lean a little bit further down. You get these two candles, which are very complementary, very similar high, similar low. And it's like, you could really bracket trade this. Bullish above, bearish below, and that's it. And then it broke down. Retested, didn't quite get back up to 2005, broke down again, and at this point it's like, okay, it should just run, but it didn't. It came back to this line again, here and here, and then here, all through here, and then it looked like it was going to start to get going. And this is bulls getting in, thinking that's it, no more bearishness, it's going, and it doesn't. It just kind of chops. It just keeps chopping. And so the squeeze was not very helpful today, signaling that it was going to go in a direction or that it would have somewhat of an explosive move. So it really just chopped along sideways until late in the day, and you get two squeeze bars, and then all of a sudden it just goes. And what's really cool too is this was actually a retest into the opening low. Didn't even get a close really. Well, I guess maybe it closed. Let's see. It closes 2002.47. The low here is 2002.25. Okay. It did technically close up above that low, but that was it. I mean, this was acting as resistance. This was acting this. The open of this 2002.40. Oh, 2002.40. That's 3 cents away from, or 7 cents away from this high. I'm sorry, this close. Sorry about that. Okay, so double top here. Very easy to see double top. And I mean, even if as it's forming. So let's look at it like this. It's like, what's going on here? Oh, that looks like a double top. Well, okay, I guess I'll go bearish. Shaved bottom. The low and the close are the same. High wave candle. Okay, we could retest a little bit. 2000 is a nice round number. I'm okay with hanging out there a little bit. We hang out there for a while. Actually get another double top right here with a neckline, pretty much the same neckline as this one. And this one actually gave you a better entry going bearish. And I'll look at the puts in just a sec. But this was a really nice, second double top. And this one broke down. Then this retested, only held up into the 21. And then again, it kept following this line down till finally we had this, another retest. Didn't quite get back up as far, but you can see these bigger bearish candles coming in, then the higher volume. This was somewhat exhaustion volume, at least it was for a little bit, because we held that for, what is this, an hour? Over an hour. That was kind of an exhaustion volume low before we could push a little closer towards towards the close. And then this is after hours. Oops, not where I wanted to go. I just want to get the after hours off. Okay, so that was the move. Didn't quite get down to 1990. You know, if you're doing a swing, maybe you could have your stop already at 2000, thinking, okay, it could continue lower. It's been just kind of stuck, range bound. You know, it could start to move. And then especially, you know, with this kind of a, sorry, this kind of move down here, we're back into this range. And the other thing I was going to say about kind of looking at it like this, I didn't expect it to really play out this way. I was looking for it to continue to move higher. But if you were trading it in a stop in place, you got stopped out today or trailed out even if you were bullish on this. But you know, it's okay that it actually broke down. It could totally retest back up to this line. It could retest back up to 1990 from below. That's been a line here for a while. But I guess, excuse me, when I zoomed out like this, even before here, let me look at it, kind of what I was seeing from yesterday. So I get rid of all that. Okay, this kind of felt like, okay, we're kind of down a little bit. We really need to get going. But even if we do get going up to 2025, it feels like this is somewhat of like a inflection point or something where what's happening on the left could be mirrored over to the right somewhat and break down again and come way down here. And then that's what we ended up doing today is we came back down here with the next candle. And so if you kind of look at this almost like a mirror, oops, if you look at this mirroring, I mean, it's obviously not, but it feels like, okay, we had this big run up. Today we had somewhat of a run down or breakdown. We should have gone higher up to here, back up to kind of balance out this high. Just kind of like, I don't know, some sort of, well, it's definitely a distribution phase because you got some more selling coming in. We've made some lower highs with the triangle here, and then you know we were trying to push a little bit higher, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not describing it well. I'll see if I can keep looking back at this zoomed out. I'm gonna leave this line in here for now. This one probably doesn't matter, but because it makes this nice triangle right here, it feels like this is kind of the middle of something. Maybe that's the way to say it. Feels like, okay, this is kind of, or at least what it was here, I expected this point to be a middle, and then we're not seeing it play out today to have this kind of day's move, you know, where we would draw it. So what I'm picturing here coming down, I was kind of picturing here going back up and then chop around. And then from here, I thought, okay, we could have a bigger roll down, just like this had a bigger roll down. Oops. I bumped something. Bigger roll down. I did it again. Let's try one more time. Bigger roll down like that. You know, and so this one could have come down like that. It just feels like, you know, this could be totally a mirror, something like that. I don't know. But anyway, that's what I'm seeing. If we go back to just today and look at bearish entry, like on this candle, that was at 905. And then let's look at this as a retest of the low of the day and see what you could have done either on this candle at 1140 or 1145. Okay, so 905, having the trade set up, getting in, looking at put. So looking at calls, I mean, just lost value all day. This is the 2050 call, and then just held right under $1. Tried to get above it a little bit here, but just held there. And then the puts, we opened up. We had this smaller range on these two. You possibly could have done something like 950 by 850 here, and that would have triggered you in and probably exit at the high of the day here around like 13. So that would have been 930 up to, or I'm sorry, 950 up to 13. And so that would have been, was that 3.5 hours? Still, that's good, you know. What I really like though is seeing what was a double top as a double bottom on the puts, bouncing right off $10. This is probably, I don't know, it's just a setup that I see happening a lot. And this is the 2000 put, so it's a nice round number put. There's probably a lot of volume on this one, or more volume, just because you've got just a nice round number. I mean, it's 2,000. Anyway, so double bottom here. You could have been getting in 10 by 9, 10 by 9, 10 by 9, 10 by 9, 10 by 9. All that worked. Even if you didn't get in at 11:45 on this candle, you had an opportunity 2 minutes, 2 candles later, not 2 minutes later. Well, maybe. No, not because it didn't get down that far. Within 10 minutes, you had another opportunity to get in at 10, and then an hour later, you had some more opportunities to get in at 10. And then that ran from 10 to 13. Could have exited right there quickly, taken a run. It did roll back down, and this could give you an opportunity to add and reduce, where it's putting this low, holding this 1150 range, holding above 11. You could do something where you added 11, move your stop up. Let's see, aggressively would be at 11. So you would probably add 1, move your stop up to 11, and then your risk on the table is still half an R. If it comes down here, you're up 1 R, $100 from this move. The put you bought at 10 is up $100, and the put that you bought at 1150 would be down by $50. So that's a gain of 50 if you get stopped out right there. And that's always the question when you add and reduce. And then that ran, or you could have exited here and done the same thing. I mean, you could have just bought again, 1150, and then put some of the gains from that, getting in 1150 by 1050, or just taking an R from that, saying, hey, I'm already up. I could risk an R, go back down to only 2 R on the day, and play that with house money essentially on another setup that held really well. And so this is that downtrend line. We were running into that line here and through here. All of this, we were just kind of bouncing on this line, bouncing around, just straddling this line all day. And let me see if I can see what it did. So we go back to this. So we were moving down like this, but then we're moving up. Is that far out? I guess it's more so this. I think it's this. Okay, yeah, it's going up on the put. I was picturing it backwards. Okay, where is the drawing tool? Okay, so drawing it like this, there you go, is similarly following this line up here on the 5-minute of the option, because we're we're just straddling line. We're not really making some consistently higher low or something, or consistently lower high, like with the line is holding that. No, we're straddling this line. So I can totally redraw this inside of this area, and that would work. I mean, seeing it on the daily, you just kind of map that onto the 2000 option. It's like, okay, anytime it comes down here, I'm going to look for this to straddle on here, and then to ultimately go higher off of that. And here it actually pulled back a little bit further, but this would have been your signal that it's like, okay, well, I was going to buy here, I'll just buy it here, thinking I've got some things going that direction. And then again, if you waited, you could have bought way over here, and it just took a while longer. So like this first one, we were in that range, this low here, but we were off the line. We had to get down to it and closer to it. We stayed on the line here, but we weren't really interacting with it. Let's see, I guess it's even more of like straight line. What happened? Something got stuck. Maybe even something like that, because we were away from it. Yeah, it's probably something like that. Now that I think about it some more, because we touched through here, or right in here, and we're touching there. Then we get past it. Came back to it. We try and get to it or below it. We're right on it again. And then we're above it here, so we're going to be below it here. And then you break down, but you come right back to it, and you're straddling it. And so this is probably actually a little bit. No, it's close. It's close enough for comfort. And so, if you define this as a neckline, it kind of fits this being not quite a neckline, but a triangle, and then a neckline here, and something, where we're kind of breaking down But anyway, all that said, as we rolled over here, there were some signals that like, okay, this candle, this is breaking down. We're about to make a lower low, just getting bearish. And you could have been getting in like 13 by 12, or maybe 12, it depends on when you notice. But, the price here was, the close was 1265, so probably 1250 by 1150. That could have worked. Let me go back into this one. Maximize this one up. So, yeah, like here, 1250 by, getting in 1250 by 1150. Up here, we're making the new low on this rollover. I don't think it's a new low in a couple hours, but so it makes sense that you wanted to get past these highs here. So you're looking for something like getting in like 1350 by 1250, thinking it'll stay there. I don't know, and then just letting that run, and then it ended up even running for 2 more. Most bullish trades worked if you gave them enough room for that pullback, and so that would have been getting in. The other thing to look at here is if you just draw this across, you've got a nice little order at that 10 bucks. That was kind of a neckline here, and we bounced off of it here. And that was what I was talking about initially. So a number of different places you could draw that line, similarly matching what was going on with this line. And that's just there because of that triangle from the other day. So there's something that's kind of mapping these out. I don't know if it's computers or something that's saying, oh, look, there's that. We'll just continue to follow that and sell that down. I don't know how that stuff works, or if there's people saying, oh, this is just a good level. And ultimately it was a good level because we retested, early afternoon, late morning, we retested the low from the last 2 days and then rolled over. It just makes sense to do that. We just had the extra confluence of this line and this low, and then a rollover with bearish pressure and a squeeze that it took so longer time to form here. So a lot going on there, but it was a really good rollover, and right from the get-go today, there wasn't much bullishness coming out. We should have been above 2013 if we were going to go, and then within the first hour we got below 2005 and stayed there. And so this is your signal. It's like, okay, we're breaking down, and just be bearish after this point. And had you done that, had you just been buying puts down here at 950, whatever, your puts were still, they're still positive the rest of the day. So that was your first signal to get into a bearish. So hope this helps. We'll see if we have any more of a pullback here or another retracement. We got through this low today towards the close, so we could totally bounce back up to 1985. I almost be surprised if we didn't come back up and touch 2000. I just don't know if we're headed down lower to roll over, or if we'll get back up there, chop around some like this, and kind of pause, and then go higher again. Because I mean, look at this. This is just still so bullish. We touched the 5 on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're pulling back a little bit, but this looks like we're right here in this range, and we rolled over from here before. So we got up into this range, we rolled over. It looks similar. We didn't touch the 5 for a couple days, and then we came crashing into it, and then continued to sputter even lower. I don't know that this is going to happen because we were just grinding and continue to make all-time highs every other week, and it seems like there's such a strong, even stronger bullishness to what's going on now than what there was back here. I mean, even this, we had this run up for many months. Actually, no, what was that? April, saying many months. April to September, yeah, that's many months. And then this one, we had this nice pullback here. So if you go many months, so what did I say, April to September, so that's 5 months to get up, technically October we got up here. So let's say October. So going April to October, that's 6 months. If you go from this low at the beginning of June for 6 months, that's December. That could be a rally like this one through December, and something I've not done. And let me just see if this will work. If I fit this over here, wow, what does that do? Didn't change the angle. I just moved it to touch these lows where we really got going. We pulled to these lows. Oh my gosh, that fits really well. doesn't fit this range as well. I would have had to pull this range down. I'm going to do it just for this, but okay, wish I saw that before. You're almost into the highs here. You could have set it up with this into this. You probably would have tweaked it and gotten something really similar. That we've got a low. You probably actually wouldn't have been able to tweak it till we got these and said, oh, I'm going to set up, you know, like my low here. Oops. I'm going to grab those points and be like, okay, I'm going to get, there we go. Oh, it jumped. If I put my point right here, and then, you know, I put another point up here, it'd be a really similar angle to this. And I think this really shows this well, how we just continue to channel upward here and came into this high. It looked like we were going to break out, immediately came down, came right into the low, started to bounce, came down and took out this channel, which we hadn't even done yet. This was the first break of that channel. We tried to get back into the channel, continue up, and just rolled back down. So it's really cool to look at that and say, wow, that's the same angle. And then if you use that same sort of, oops, not what I meant to do, sorry. If you do this, and let's say you take this sort of move here, this whole thing off of this low, because so far we're holding pretty well to this channel. This one's a little wider. It doesn't have to be. I put this back over with how wide this is. Then I'm looking at, gosh, this is going to be a tough part to fit. If I just put it on this line, then it totally makes sense that we ran into resistances here, and then we're breaking out and coming right back in. So this is the first candle. It's really crazy how well that is showing. Okay. So you take that right at the line I had, you ran into resistance, couldn't get going higher, came back, didn't even pull back to the low. Then you just had this rally, got out of it, got above it, came right back to it, indecision candle, and came into it here. So if this pulls back some more, I would look for something to pull back into this line, you know, and actually do it this time. If we can hold the middle here, like basically hold the 21 or above it, then look out, because this thing's going to get up here and probably get above this and just ride that higher. And that means, let's see if I can do this. That means we're going to be, let's say the 21 gets going straight like this on this uptrend, straight up through here. I mean, that means you're going to run up to 2200, you know, in a few months, just for it to just continue to run up and just stay above the 21. And back over here, we came back and touched the 21, so we stayed above it. Then we came back and touched the 21, came back through, bounced off the line. So I would look for something similar where we get this line going straight, come back and touch it, get it going straight again, come back and touch it, get it going, and this one touched again. And then it was pretty much straight through here. I mean, right on the line through here. I would expect that to kind of follow the line. That's if we can get going bullish right now. You know, can you picture that going straight for a while, and then we'll go sideways, and we'll probably maybe go sideways around 2100. We'll make a new all-time high, go sideways, continue to move up, get up to 22, 23, sideways. That's if we can stay in this range for like 6 months. And so, like I said, that'd be December. I don't even have December on here. Can we get it? Let's see if I can get December on here. It won't let me go that far. No, I think I have to put a certain number of candles ahead. But anyway, I know I'm drawing some kind of crazy stuff on here. I really don't think this yellow line is relevant to anything. Let me get rid of that. If I can hit the right button. Delete. Okay. I'm going to leave this over here just because I don't think we'll ever get back into that range, but it's kind of cool seeing how that fits the same angle. And then, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see if it'll let me color this. What did that do? I want to color this one. Okay, there we go. Nope, it's not letting me color it. All right, I'm gonna have to try another time to play around with the settings. I'm gonna leave that on there. I'm just gonna change this and this to be the same color, a different color than what I've got on here for this, like magenta, and see if we can just continue to compare back to similarities in the low, stuff like that. So anyway, I know I went into a lot of other stuff. Hope this was helpful. And the computer's working okay right now, so that's part of the reason, is just diving into the analysis a little bit further when it's working. I'm not sure if it's going to have some more issues any day. But yeah, let's keep an eye out on where things go. I would at least look for a move to retest back to 1990. And maybe I go back a little bit here. Maybe we'll do something like this. We'll run back up into it for a little bit longer and then have a bigger plunge. And maybe this kind of like mirroring is still relevant. We just got going down faster. So we'll see. Three bearish candles in a row. We haven't seen that since we had 4 over here on that bigger pullback. Got 2 here, 1, 5 there, 4 there. So it's okay to have some bearishness. I mean, we're pulling back into, like, this is a retest of this gap. If we can rally back up to this, just look for that to continue bullish and stay bullish. If it doesn't, look for that to roll over and come down to probably 21 on its way back up. So 1972.50 would be the next target down a little further. And you know, we'll just see if we can get going there quickly, do something like this, you know, and then get going back up to the bullishness. So I'm totally fine with it, even though I move all the way back down to this line. I don't know if it'll get there by Friday. By Friday already? Yeah, wow. With 2 more candles. I don't know if it'll do that. But if it does, or if it gets past this line, this has been so bullish, I would say just set up something and buy it down here, because that'd be a great entry where this low last was here to get in over here. Now make sure you define your risk. You know, I'm not telling you to go out and do that without assessing it for yourself, because, well, you're the one who's going to set it up and you're responsible. So that's just a place that I would be looking to pick some up if it ever got down there again. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. It was a little bit longer, looking at a bigger picture, but we did dive into the 5-minute, and yeah, be back hopefully tomorrow with a review of how things are going. This is Just AMZN. Thanks.